The Witcher season 2 was pretty good. Just to keep it short before I get into more details on the various aspects and storylines, uh, I think this was definitely better than season 2. I think they improved upon season 2. The acting has improved, the storyline, the music, the cinematography. It was excellent, and I really enjoyed it. I think you guys should check it out. It's a 10 out of 10 for me. So yeah, so if you want to know if it's worth watching, it is. Go check it out. What are you waiting for? Now to get into a bit more detail, I really enjoy the cinematography of the show. It's very unique, very, and I mean this as a compliment, very, very cold. It feels cold. It feels dry, right? When you're in cold weather, it gets very dry. The way they do it, the locations, right? And that's a good thing in this situation, obviously. It's very cold. It's very raw, I guess, especially if you watch it in 4K, it comes through more. The locations are unique and not the same old New Zealand fantasy generic locations that Lord of the Rings made popular, which every other show reuses for some reason. And I think they forget that the planet has a lot more real estate than just New Zealand. If you just look, for example, northern parts of Europe, I believe it is, that's where they're filmed. The unique locations really sets it apart from other fantasies. It really makes it unique, adds a little more flavor to it. So I really enjoy the cinematography, the directing. It's very much improved. Uh, in terms of the music is on point. There's a new song by Yaskir that, or Dandelion if you prefer. That's pretty catchy as well. Not as catchy as Toss a Coin to Your Witcher, but like I said, it's hard to top songs like that. You know what I mean? But it's still pretty good. In terms of the plot, right? The overall plot sees, for the most of the season, Ciri training to be a witcher, or not really a witcher in the sense of drinking the mutagen, but just in terms of her combat skills, bonding with Geralt, and you see Yennefer, who has lost her magic, imprisoned by the elves, and then finding her way back to the Brotherhood in order to try to find a way to regain her magic. Her and the elven, I guess, leader and the mage from Nilfgaard that was fighting them are tempted by this demon from another realm, which turns out to be a dark elf of some sort from a different, I guess, planet, if you will, or realm, or sphere, as they call it. And they each see like different visions to tempt them of what to do to, get them what they want or whatever. And so we have that storyline where the elves are starting to work with Nilfgaard for a short time. The elf leader is pregnant. Um, and so that's kind of where the setup starts. And you have, and one of the things I liked is that Geralt again is not sidelined. He's shown respect. One of the things I was afraid of in this show is that they would, have too much of the preachy girl power stuff and make Geralt into like a joke. But from the interviews that I've seen Henry Cavill have, he said that he fought to make sure Geralt's wisdom is shown and that he's respected and honest to his character. And yeah, he's very wise. A lot of things he says to Ciri, she listens and respects it, which is good, right? There's a bond that grows between them, like, right, father and daughter type of bond, right? There's this idea of choosing your family, and she even has good relationships with Lambert and some of the other Witchers as well. Um, and most of her arc this season is taking place in Kaer and its surrounding area, training to be a Witcher. And then we get like glimpses, and then we like transition to some of the other characters, where Yennefer is goes back to the Brotherhood, and she sees that the Black Knight, the main villain, or not the main villain, but like, yeah, I guess in a way, the guy that was chasing after Ciri last season, is gonna be executed, but she ends up saving him, and they run away. She wants to get to Sintra, maybe find a way to get her magic back. And she meets Yaskir on the way in Oxenford, and they find this underground boat that takes elves to Sintra, which has become a safe haven ever since the elves joined Nilfgaard. And obviously, the elves are being persecuted even more by the northern kingdoms as a result of seeing them as spies and traitors. and she basically gets a vision that in order for her magic to come back, she has to get Siri basically, and obviously she doesn't know who Siri is. We also have Triss come back. She has red hair now, which it looks 10 times better. She comes into Kaer Morhen as well. She's traumatized from being burnt last season, right? So we can have that situation, but she comes to Kaer Morhen as series training is progressing. To teach her magic. She's went through a lot. Siri went through this little machine where the witches train in that they just like this American Ninja Warrior type obstacle course. In her training, which started shortly after she arrived and sped up even more after one of one of Geralt's fellow witchers and close friend that he grew up with, got killed. He was attacked by this mutated or new type of Leshy, which left a mark on him and turned him into a Leshy, and they had to kill him. And this was pretty sad for him. It was devastating. And one of the things you see is little by little, a lot of the Witchers that you get introduced to in episode 2 get killed off by monster attacks at Kaer Morhen, either due to Eskel or due to Ciri at the end of the day. Not her by herself, but when she screamed in season 1 and broke that little tower, it opened up a portal to different monsters coming into the world. And we kind of get exposed to some of her powers that she has, something called the Elder Blood. It's apparently some really powerful type of magic that can take people out of like different worlds and send them there. It's just pretty insane. And she basically has unleashed them without even knowing. And so that's where these new monsters are coming from. But the monsters aren't going to harm her. They're more so uh, because she's kind of has control over them, which you see later on in the finale of what that looks like. And so, anyway, she does her training. She gets closer to Geralt. They practice different things in the wild. And while she's training in her training course, you learn that her blood, the Elder Blood, grows this little flower that the Witchers can be made from again, like new Witcher mutagen is made from. So her blood would really help with that. She agrees to help Vesemir by giving his blood to create more Witchers, but she wants to be a Witcher too, which when Geralt is against because there's a high probability she could die, right? The Witcher mutagen mutation is very, very lethal. Not that many people make it out. So you have all these different storylines. Yaskier doing his thing. He doesn't have as big of a role, but he's definitely there near the second half. You also have the mage, that Yennefer's first lover, in this as well, investigating all these different mysteries and monoliths that apparently Ciri can destroy. Learns more about Ciri, and eventually informs the elves by the end of the season. The elves, eventually, once the baby is born, don't want to help Nilfgaard no more, but someone secretly has the baby is killed, which leads the elves to believe it's Redania. They're being framed, but it's actually Emperor Amir, you find out by the end. And he's shown to be Ciri's father of all people. And so they are attacking Redania, and I think they're putting some type of symbols on baby. I don't know if they're killing them or just leaving a mark on them. And that's going to pick up next season. Nilfgaard is manipulating the elves to fight their war for them against one kingdom, which will probably make it easier for them. But they, at the end, find out from that scholar friend that Ciri is of Elder Blood, and so that gives the elves some hope. And we leave them with that by the end of the season. And then the Black Knight and I'm forgetting her name, but the Black Mage, basically, the Black Lady Mage. Dang, I'm forgetting her name. Anyways, they try to claim that they had the baby killed when Emperor Mir comes, but it was actually Emperor Mir. So he's like, no, you're not loyal, you're not trustworthy. And then he has them taken away. We don't know what happens to them. We'll find out in season 3. But basically, and then you have the Brotherhood as well. Like, basically, one by one, we learn as they're learning about Ciri in various different ways and what she is. All the kingdoms, the mages, the Brotherhood, the elves, Nilfgaard, Northern Realms, this and that. All the different groups, the Wild Hunt, even at a certain point, all the different groups want to hunt down Ciri. So it's leading to this, right? Hunting down Ciri, finding her. Meanwhile, Ciri is trying to learn some of the Witcher magic from this school that Geralt learned it from, and there she meets Yennefer, who's there to basically kidnap her. At first, she doesn't know who she is, but then she meets Geralt there, surprisingly, and they kind of learn, talk to each other, catch up, and she learns what Ciri is. She still has some struggles with what she wants to go through it with it or not. Take her to the witch lady, and then this fire mage attack that was hired by this mysterious benefactor to catch Ciri as well. And then he fights with Geralt and them, and Geralt just fights and kills a lot of the hired thugs, while Yennefer and Ciri are trapped behind a door. Um, and the fire mage is trying to break through. Eventually, Ciri manages to open a portal. Yennefer teaching her to do that, which I don't know if she learned anything with Triss. Right, Triss helped her kind of like get into her subconscious in an episode ago, where she kind of found out more about herself, her elder blood, and looking at like the ancient prophecy of this elf who said that this baby would bring destruction or whatever it is, and then that scares Triss to go confess to the Brotherhood, and that's how they find out about Ciri. Especially uh, the woman that's the head of that kind of trained Triss and Yennefer, um, Tesseia or something like that. So they teleport away and they try to Yennefer tricks her and lies to her, saying that going to Central would be best. That's probably where Geralt is or whatever. And obviously, as they get close, she had to change her heart. She doesn't want to go through with it, and she tells her the truth. And Geralt arrives as well to save them from some Nilfgaardian soldiers, and they're kind of like not trusting Yennefer anymore. Um, and Yennefer is obviously conflicted, saying she made a mistake and so forth. And obviously, Geralt doesn't trust her right now. He's pissed at her. They head back to Kaer Morhen, where this final battle occurs, where the demon, the little Baba Yaga inspired creature, it takes over Ciri's body and uses her powers to bring in creatures from other realms. But the creatures listen to her, obviously. And this is a big fight between the Witchers and them. And Yennefer manages to create a little potion thing that will take the demon out. And the fight leads to the death of several Witchers, leaving only Lambert, two others, Vesemir, and Geralt. So there's not been death. Most of the Witchers are now dead. And Vesemir wanted to kill Ciri, but he was stopped and he came to his senses and apologized. But and the demon, when they went to another world, the realm of the Wild Hunt, they saw them coming. That's where the home of the demon was. That's where she wanted to go back. And then they came back to the Wild Hunt called Ciri. And Geralt realizes that he can't stay even in Kaer Morhen. He has to keep moving, because so many factors involved. Even if they do stay, I think Kaer Morhen would be a big target. Although I think next season they'll be a big target regardless by maybe Redania, because Dijkstra, who's the advisor to the king, knows where she is. So that's just my jumbled like summary of the plots. In terms of the various other aspects of the show, I love the music. As I said, the cinematography is good. The location, Henry Cavill's acting is really good. Even the girl who plays Ciri, damn, I'm forgetting her name. Anyways, whatever. But the point is, the acting is improved. The story is more entertaining. One of the things, I don't know if this is like really a criticism. I don't know. I guess maybe this is a good thing in a way too, because I wish we got through some of the stuff a little faster, but at the same time, I like that they're taking their time. It's just 8 episodes. I just wish there were more episodes. I guess what I'm trying to say, right? I wish I did an end. I wish I could get more of the episodes, more of the story. So, which is a good thing, right? They did a good job. They really improved a lot of the armor. And I feel the characters were respected. It was well balanced, right? You weren't too preachy about any social justice messages. It's just a good story, and the messages are just natural part of that story rather than forced in like a lot of entertainment today. I highly recommend it, guys. I give The Witcher 10 out of 10. I enjoyed the story. Can't wait for season 3. Probably gonna come out in 2023, if I'm being honest, December 2023. I think it's gonna be like a 2-year gap, especially because Henry Cavill's a movie actor too, so he can't just be producing one season after another. Because I think this season took like maybe 6 or 8 months or something like that. So yeah, please leave a thumbs up, please leave a like, subscribe, and have a good one.